Kristen, we'll see you then. What if companies with more money helped control what you wanted to see on the internet? The president says it could happen if the internet is not regulated.
And today, the FCC is set to vote on a set of new rules to do just that. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is in the Newsplex with what you need to know this morning. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Now, those in favor of the regulations say it will make sure money doesn't control information and speed on the internet.
Network neutrality is the idea that all packets should still be treated the same, and the internet service providers shouldn't be making those choices based on who the packet's to and who the packet's from.
Jed Crandall is an associate professor of computer science at UNM. He says if the FCC passes the set of proposed new rules, the internet would have common carrier laws just like telephone service. Internet providers would be private companies that must sell their service to anyone without discrimination, all regulated by the FCC. Supporters say it's a win for you, the internet user. The rules would keep broadband providers from slowing down service intentionally, keeping data and video from you when some sites can't afford to pay for a preferential service. Crandall says big companies like Netflix and Google may be able to pony up the extra cash to keep you as a customer, but small businesses and amateur filmmakers may not.
The little guy that just wants to have a documentary that they've made and put it on their own website, they won't be able to do that with as good of quality of service as they otherwise would have.
Not everyone agrees, saying regulation is bad news. Hear from them in our next half hour, but keep in mind, whether the FCC passes the new rules or not, broadband providers won't necessarily be charging you more right now. You already pay for the speed you want. Back to you.
Thanks for that information, Catherine. Now, last year, a federal judge struck down the first attempt to regulate the internet, saying the FCC overstepped its authority when it did not classify service providers first. The new rules would address that.
Internet. The president says new rules the FCC is set to vote on today would make sure that major companies don't control what you want to see online.
But not everyone is on board, some going as far as to say this would give the government a way to watch what you're looking at. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is in the Newsplex with the details. Good morning, Catherine.
Morning, Crystal. Now, those in favor of the rules called network neutrality say it will keep money from controlling the internet, but prohibiting internet service providers from giving special treatment to those who have the money to dole out.
If they can go to all the different networks, all the different video websites, Netflix and Hulu, and go to all these different companies, Bank of America and Wells Fargo, and say, if you want your website to be as fast as your competition, you have to pay extra money. If they can do that, they can make a lot of money that way.
Jed Crandall is an assistant professor of computer science at UNM. He says net neutrality means you get the same quality service no matter the website. On the other side of the debate, internet service providers like AT&T and Verizon are against the rules, worried about how government regulations will look like. According to USA Today, more than 24 broadband companies say they're concerned the FCC might be too overpowering with their regulations. Other opponents worry more government control of the internet might even lead to government spy programs online. And then there's fear it could result in less competition and possibly higher prices for service. Now, a federal judge struck down the first attempt to regulate the internet last year, saying that the FCC overstepped its bounds by not classifying internet providers first. Now, the new rules would address that. Back to you.
All right, thanks for that information, Catherine. Now, keep in mind if the FCC passes the new rules or not, broadband service providers won't necessarily be charging you more right now. You already pay for the speed that you want.